Today we're making a copycat breakfast pizza recipe from Casey's General Store. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Cooking with Kayla D. I'm Kayla and this is my husband Randy. My disclaimer. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell so you get all the latest episodes as they release. This week's episode was inspired by Andrew Ryan POV. He is a YouTuber that has self-built a camper for his pickup and he travels. I will have links for his channel and his social media in the description area if you want to check him out. A big thanks, Andrew, for inspiring this week's video and getting that slice of Casey's pizza. For your ingredients, you're going to need 1 pack of pizza dough, 4 scrambled eggs, 1 cup of sausage crumbles, 1/2 cup of real bacon bits or pieces, 1 cup of country white gravy, and 2 cups of jack cheese, as well as a 1/4 cup of Colby Jack or Cheddar. So what I did is I got an already made pizza crust. I chose to get this one at the Fresh Market. It is organic. It's super thin. When having breakfast, the toppings are heavy enough, so we decided to go with this thin crust, and it was the only one we could find. But you could also use like one of those Pillsbury Doughboy crusts that you can roll out and put in a baking sheet, or you can make a crust or buy the pre-made pizza dough crust, whatever it is that you want to do. You can also use some canned biscuits and put them together. It's just whatever's easy for you. So we're going to go ahead and unroll our pizza crust. And we already have a round pizza pie dish, so we're going to go ahead and use that. And I've already lined it with parchment paper. So I'll unroll this crust and then we'll get it flipped down onto our parchment paper that we have lined our pizza pan with. See how it was just perfect circle? It worked out really well. I'm gonna flip that over, and now I'm gonna peel this off gently. It's almost like using a pie crust, which you can use a pie crust if you would rather use a pie crust. You're just gonna get a different texture. So now that we have our pizza crust here, I'm gonna scoot it over to fit in our dish a little better. And then I'm going to go ahead and pre-cook this a little bit. So I want to go ahead and get a fork, and we're going to put some holes throughout the dough. That way it doesn't bubble up as bad. So you're going to go ahead and take you a fork, and you're going to go ahead and just dot little holes throughout the entire dough here. And that just helps prevent bubbling as it bakes in the oven. We want to get it partially baked before we put our toppings on, because our toppings are already cooked. We're just going to heat them through and get our cheese melted. And so I just went around and found little areas where I needed to finish putting my holes in and got those in. There we go. So then I'm going to get this into the oven at 425 degrees for 5 to 10 minutes. And I did it for 7. I didn't want it to cook too long, and it still bubbled up a little bit, so I'm just gonna pat those bubbles down as well as I can. And that's all you have to do, is just kind of tap them all down. They come back up. Your toppings are so heavy, it's gonna end up collapsing them anyway. But now I'm gonna go ahead, and for our sauce, we're gonna be using white country gravy. I just bought a gravy packet and mixed it up. For just this size of a pizza, it only needed a 1 cup packet. So if you get a 2 cup packet, I would only use half of it. And go ahead and spread it around evenly. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our scrambled eggs. Now there is another option. If you are one that likes whole eggs on your pizza, then you would not be using scrambled. So you would skip the scrambled egg and go ahead and do the rest of your toppings. And then I'll explain more at the end of how you would put a whole egg in there and bake that in the oven. But for now, if you're using scrambled eggs, go ahead and put your eggs all over your pizza. And I made sure to cook the eggs all the way through because you don't want them to be wet because it will cause your pizza to be soggy. So definitely go ahead and make sure you kind of over scramble them to where they're a little rubbery like this, because otherwise it'll make a soggy pizza, and you don't want a soggy pizza. You also can add additional toppings that were not listed here, like chopped onions and tomatoes or spinach or ham, different types of cheeses. It's just a little kind of a rough sketch to get you going on your own recipe. A lot of people even put like hash browns and stuff on there, so it's up to you on what you want to put on here. Some people like that spicy life and put some chorizo. It's up to you. After our eggs, we're going to go ahead and do some sausage crumbles. We had some Jimmy Dean on hand, so we went ahead and cooked that up the night before and let it cool in the fridge overnight. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle those on there, but they do sell Jimmy Dean sausage crumbles at most markets around the United States. They have regular, and then they also have turkey sausage if you're not a beef eater or a pork eater. But you just go ahead and spread those crumbles around your pizza to make sure you get sausage in every bite that you would be taking. This is the ultimate breakfast pizza. It's absolutely delicious. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our bacon bits. And like I said, if you want to use the easy way of doing it, like I am, you want to get real bacon bits. I think they're like $1.50 a bag. You don't need a big bag. That's why I put the measurements I did in the ingredients area. But if you want to make your own, you can too. All you got to do is cook up your bacon, let it cool, and then cut it into pieces or chop it. After you have your bacon on there, you're going to go ahead and add cheese. We decided not to go with mozzarella. We went with jack cheese. Not because one's better than the other, because we had jack cheese and we didn't have mozzarella. So we decided to go ahead and use all of our jack cheese up. And I'm kind of glad we did, because it ended up baking almost just like mozzarella. It was very, very delicious. So you go ahead and get your jack cheese on top. And once you have all of your jack cheese on top and spread across, go ahead and add some cheddar or Colby Jack to the top, just so it has that cheesy yellow look to it and gives it a little bit of a bite. I went with Colby Jack because, again, that's what I had on hand. So a little extra Jack and then Colby. So now it looks like a really nice, delicious pizza. And you'll have that cheddar bite for when it comes out of the oven, and it will taste a lot like Casey's pizza. After I get my cheese down, I pat it firmly, and it helps to keep the cheese from running off of the pizza. So you just press down. You're going to go ahead and stick it in your oven at 425 degrees for 15 to 18 minutes. I will also have links in the description area for the temperatures for a thicker crust. And you let it sit for 10 minutes afterwards. There's the crust. Turned out very delicious. After 5 to 10 minutes of resting, you're going to go ahead and slice up your pizza. And you should be able to get about 8 slices of pizza. This will feed 4 to 6 people a delicious hearty breakfast. So after we get this sliced up, I'm going to go ahead and show you and pull a slice out. That way you can see just how chewy this cheese was and that it was very similar to mozzarella cheese, even though we used Jack instead. That cheese will pull and it's absolutely yummy. I love a lot of cheese on my pizza, don't you? So I'm going to go ahead and lift this and pull it out and watch that stretch. Look at that stretch of cheese. Oof, yum. This pizza was absolutely delicious, by the way. You definitely want to try it. And like I said, if you want to use a thicker crust, go ahead. But it was so heavy and hearty that we found the thin crust was perfect. So there you go. Look at that delicious ultimate pizza. And that is our Casey's CopyCat version. And here's what it looks like from a side view. So you can see those toppings are absolutely fabulous. Like I said, I have links in the description area for everything you would need.
of which I became a minister, according to the gift of the grace of God given to me by the effective working of his power. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 7.
This week we are showcasing photos from photographer Joe Jones that will be available for sale soon on our website. Here are 3 photographs he took here in the Myrtle Beach area: the green heron, a beautiful anhinga, and a beautiful great egret. These beautiful photographs, along with some others that photographer Joe Jones have taken, will be available soon on our website. We will let you know as soon as that is up and running. We thank you for being here on Cooking with Kayla D. As always, we say, stay in that kitchen and keep on cooking. And God bless until next time. For more delicious recipes, the icon here on the right, and to subscribe to our channel, the icon here on the left.